The impact these three machines have had on dance music in the last 3 decades that I can think of as being mind-blowing. I mean, just with these three alone, there's a whole genre created from this machine. There's a whole genre created from this machine within dance music. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The TB303 for me was part originally of a band in a box system where it was the 303 and the 606. I remember this cardboard box, and it was basically a solution to, apparently the solution to a bass guitarist. It wasn't so popular, but I was hearing something else. Started to get into listening to electro funk, where we had very similar sounds to what was going on, and I didn't actually realize they were using the same machines. It was basically, they were using this stuff in the studios fresh out of the box, basically. When I eventually got one, I was trying to make a similar type of track to, I think it was Ice-T. It might have been called Dog in the Wax, I can't remember. It was a track where they just used like the 303 tone. So I was always trying to put it through a reverb, and then I'd always try and get the right sound of it, you know. I'd be like playing it and like trying to get like this like really deep kind of sound with the reverb behind it, and tweaking around with it. I mean, I'd hear it doing the sounds, but I never actually thought of recording that. I would always think of recording the fixed thing. May have been a few months later, or even like a year later, I heard some stuff on the radio where someone was like, it sounded like someone was messing around with my machine. I was like, I didn't think anyone else would be using that. You know, everyone was moving towards like the digital sound by then, you know, so they were all kind of into this like really tight, kind of sharp, it's like 80s kind of sound. So like I kind of straight away went back to my machine and started recording some stuff to send into the radio station, because I was like, wow, so that's the thing. So I did like probably like a C90 tape full of different tracks using this and the 808 drum machine at the time. Sent it into the radio station. I was working at McDonald's at the time, and like they didn't get back to me at first, and I was like thinking, oh, forget it. And then someone said to me, like, well, oh, they're playing your track on the radio. This guy was playing my tunes, you know what I mean? Like, then the next week he played another tune of mine, and then he, you know what I mean, and he kept on playing them. But that's my relationship with the 303, and I'd basically walk around with it. And I used to just like carry it around in this case, because it was battery operated. So I was known to be walking around town with like a pair of headphones, and like these people would laugh at me because they think it was like a big Walkman or something, you know what I mean? And I was like there, like tweaking away. I'd be on a bus or something, and I'd be like playing like patterns and writing patterns into it and stuff. But yeah, the 80s. The 909 for me was a really interesting situation. I'd actually like saved up some money, and I'd got an 808. And I was doing like this, like cutting and scratching, and like with this, I bought a record by Mantronics, and I was like, oh my God, what's that on the cover? I think it was cartoon drawn, but he was in with his Kangol, like walking into the party, I think, with a 90, and I was like, 909, is that the next one up from the 808? Oh my God. So I went on a hunt, you know, back down to the music shop. They had it there all, it was like really, you know, it was like the next, it was like all, it's like the 808 was all kind of roundish, you know what I mean? It was really dark. The 909 was really square, and it was like really, you know, and like the sounds are really clean, and it was just like, oh no, you know. So that was like the next thing on the list. I mean, for me, it was like the start of the whole situation, because like, you know, I don't want to scare anyone, but like, you once you're in, you know, with the equipment, you're in, and you're never going to get out. With the 909, there was an internal sequencer. Also, with the 909, what you couldn't do with the 808 is you couldn't swing. So the 909, had this swing thing, and you could like program this internal sequencer to make tracks. Or like I used to do B lines with it, and so like the B line then would be tied in with the drum. The original Pacific State, there's a track called Pacific State I did with 808 State, and the original bass line I did with the swing on the 909, then used the drums from the 909 to beef it up to program around the bass line. At the time the track was called Day Ride, but we flipped it and called it, well, they flipped it and called it Pacific State later on, which was more luxurious. It's a phenomenal machine. I mean, like to see it this size, I want to be on the bus now, like, you know, because it's got batteries doing a beat. I'd love to put that in a carry case, stick my headphones in. Actually, does it have a, yeah, it's in and out. Oh my God, so I could have like both of them in a case, MIDI together, audio together, just one headphone out. Oh, I'll see you guys later. I've not even looked really, I've not even looked yet. I'm still blind with excitement. Like there's been like 1,000,001 clones out, but I've not seen anything that looks as beautiful as that. That's mental. That is really, really nice. Can't wait to get into it. When I started, I kind of, you know, I was all about setting all the equipment up on the stage and making the track there and then, you know, because I just thought, for me, was a way forward for dance. If I could actually be part of the dance with the music, that was like the strongest connection I thought ever you could have. Having machines now that could actually function with like a DJ set, I think it's something that has been written by the gods, and it's happening, you know what I mean? And I would say to him, like, not to be scared of it. If you need any help, like, call me. I've been doing it for years.